Hi everybody, I am Anjindra. This is what to play next. We find everything that is awesome in gaming. We have an Alice obsession, so when we went to look up a game, see if it was available for sale, we'd done an Alice in Wonderland beta for Big Fish. We found like 4 Alice games on there, so we decided to check them out. Not that we're obsessed or anything. Here's a very un-Alice name. Polygonal, so it should be a little bit different than our usual adventure game stuff from them. They offer all sorts of things, everything from match 3 to family, puzzle, word, adventure. So, it's not that they're restrictive, it's just that we generally go through their adventure games. Cheshire Cat, good evening Alice. I'm sorry to drag you out of bed, but Wonderland needs you. Cheshire Cat, what a pleasure to see you smile again, you old tomcat. We need to get you out of here. I recognize this room. Just have to drink the potion so I can shrink and get through the door. Fortunately, there's no potion left, but you'll find something to help you in this cupboard. I indicates hidden objects seen. I feel good about my ability to navigate an interface. Alright, so what do we need to do to mix together a potion? I failed potions class with Snape in Hogwarts. That makes me sad. Interesting fact, Lewis Carroll's real name was Charles Ludwig Dodgson. The character of the Dodo is inspired by his name. It refers to the author in his stutter because when he used to present himself, he said Dodo Dodgson. Aww. But you can become a success through the written word. And you want to know something? There's this old trick where if you get so upset that you can't speak, you can actually sing if you have a stutter, and there are a couple of cultures that actually do that naturally. Interesting fact, most of the poems in Alice in Wonderland are not by Lewis Carroll. He simply parodied the generally rather sanctimonious childish poems that English children already knew by heart. I noticed that. In fact, Alice herself mentions that she has a hard time remembering them and that she's reciting because they would memorize their primers, even their nursery rhymes, that sort of thing, by, doing so. So anyways, some cultures you do actually sing. Scandinavian cultures, Polish, a lot of them have, in American, we don't even think of it because it's to express emotion. But in many, many cultures, it's actually a part of pronouncing a word is that it has a definitive note to it, which is higher or lower based on whether or not you're female or male. So that's kind of funny, I would imagine, to some people, where dominance is often explained by whether or not you use the lower octave of your voice. It's pretty obvious that I'm a dominant female because you can hear my lower range. Part of that is just voice training, and we do train our upper class in that, where we all take voice. So I just happen to have a 2-octave range, so mine got trained young. Oh, there's my bottle, and it is empty. Later, frog, apple, compass, oh, there's zucchini, obviously. Flower, we have many flowers, but I suppose they want a different one. Want the cupcake. Chain broom. Things that I would use for a broom or a real actual broom is the question here. Oh, there's an apple. I was looking for you. Flower. 3, they claim there's 3 frogs, and I have yet to see one. So, color me intrigued. There's the chain. I love that I know that I'm looking at these things, and it's just not registering. These are actually, this is a really cool art style. I'm impressed. Oh, brushes, right? So like different, that's also a brush. Of course, to Ariel, that was a brush, but it kind of is what it is. Okay, so that's definitely not an apple. Pears. Irony. There's the lighter. 3 frogs. 3 frogs on a log. Compass, flower, a compass. Maybe they're speaking of a traditional, like a mason's compass. other than one that a sailor or pioneer would use. Either way, I am not seeing these things. Oh, okay, you know what? If you're gonna glow like that, hint away. There's a frog. Oh, they're frog shadows. This ought to make life interesting. You kind of have to adjust your eyes. I mean, you don't have to, but it's handy when you realize that that's what you're dealing with. You do actually focus differently. For darker objects, you use the rods in your eyes rather than the cones, which you use to detect color, because you scan back and forth, so it actually appears as motion. I suppose waving my mouse cursor is not helping me any. Oh, there's a brush. We'll keep that stationary and see if it helps. Tips and tricks. We'll give it a go. I like to use it to change where I focus, but as I'm clearly bombing here, there's got to be one bloody flower here. And I am just not resting my eyes on it. Alright, friend, where is it? Oh, another frog. I totally missed that. I would have looked for 1,000 years and never seen that. You may think that's an exaggeration. In some of these you can move the objects, and this one apparently cannot. There's a flower. Still no on the compass. I keep looking at this watch like it's suddenly going to become one. It looks like it could double. It looks like it wants to do that. No, I don't think an all, or that's not an all, that's an ads. Never mind. Use scissors if you're in a pinch. Why another? Well, it's a smaller ads. What were they carving in here? It's the worst EDD. It's hilarious. Oh, that's a compass. Okay, so all I have is one shadow frog left to find. Which I'm sure we'll see in no time. It'll clearly come through before my time here is done. Oh, for fudge's sake. At this point, it's like, just refill and let me have the clue. Because clearly I don't have one. I'm not naturally competitive, which always shocks people. I do endurance sports and whatnot. I don't know if you're as introverted as I am, but I do that specifically because, where's it going to be? Someplace obscure. Treble clef. Ta-da! Cool. So use a treble clef to open the door, apparently. I do endurance sports and whatnot, and I think that you'd find, if you're an introvert, that you can get a lot of enjoyment out of sports as long as you are comfortable competing against yourself. And you do have to ignore a lot of the tips that most people use. What on earth? Oh, they don't match. Simply because they are meant for extroverts. Extroverts gain energy from other people. Introverts tend not to. So we're an odd bunch. Where if you were to try and do the thing where you moved in tandem, you would quickly, it's going to let me do the ones that don't say flippy. Anyways, if you were to try, for instance, to move in tandem as they recommend, gonna knock the sleep out of my voice here. Hold on. Anyways, if you were to move in tandem, you would actually lose energy, and it's less motivating. If you have a partner, it will calm people down, so the looking glass is broken. I like the fun fact factor. It's kind of keeping me going. I'm not the biggest fan, obviously, of Seek and Finds, but I do like mini games, and I loved VH1's pop-up videos. So, interesting fact, the Mad Hatter is a character based on fact. In Victorian times, hatters used mercury in the felting process for the hats. I actually knew that. The mercury released toxic vapors which attacked the nervous system and sent some people mad. So, interesting fact, 2,000 copies of Alice in Wonderland were printed when the book was first published in June 1865. The book was an instant hit to such an extent that on the day before Christmas, there was a second print run of 5,000 copies, a huge number for that time. In our time, 30,000 is considered a successful run. A million will generally get you looked at for a contract. Contracts are rare in publishing these days. Rare. Because people keep defaulting on them because it's a creative process. The door's too small, I can't get through it. It also looks very shabby and could do with a coat of paint, so that's where my paint's going. This is a good one. I think that it offers, even though it is technically a seek and find or a point and click, I think you'd still class it under seek and find. It has a sufficient amount of minigames and also the fun facts. If you're a fan of Alice, you're going to be playing the game just because you love to hear about the bugs. And they're a fascinating study in semiotics, especially old world semiotics, when people encountered other cultures. And this is a great way that they had of expressing that dysphoria. I think it's called apophenia. It's a disassociation. Alice, where are we? Cheshire Cat, at Wonderland Central Station. Find the White Rabbit, he'll tell you all about the danger our kingdom is facing. I thought we didn't want to find the White Rabbit. The Queen of Hearts train, Alice. She's the only one who's allowed to enter. I hope I'm not going to bump into her. I knocked over her playing cards last time I was here. We'll run into her soon enough. Oh, awesome. White Rabbit, who's there? Is that you, Rabbit? What are you doing in that cage? I've been locked up, and my clothes have been stolen. Please help me. Honey, you're an animal. It's okay. Alright, so hand brush. Let's see if we can't snap through this. Because honestly, friend, we just want to go here. Do I have any fun facts in the scene? Interesting fact, Walt Disney's feature-length film, released in 1951, took 10 years to make. Sadly, it didn't have the success expected. A few decades later, it became the first Disney film broadcast on television. It was the most popular rental film. That's interesting given that most people thought Alice in Wonderland was based on drugs. It's actually based on dysphoria. And England developed an interesting semiotic take on drugs, specifically because of the Alice in Wonderland franchise. Interesting fact. Oh, great. Disney Studios, this is new. Disney Studios film was the first to associate voice actors with their characters. It was also the one with the most songs. No fewer than 40 were composed, although only 20 were used. Interesting. Scarf, signet ring, broken heart, beetle car. Well, that kite has got to be one. I really thought the glue together with the banana would be, but it is not. There's a beetle car. Scarf, 2 shoes. I think excess clicking, and I got so broken of that habit during Gardens of Time because it would actually yell at you. It's kind of enjoyable if you do this sort of thing. Hello, little birdie. There's the shoe. Red diamond hand brush. Hat, lemon ring, signet ring, scarf. Broken heart. Had heart. Oh, red diamond, not red heart. Hand brush. Scarf. Broken heart. That was a broken heart, but I don't think that counts. There's the scarf. Hat, signet ring. Are you seeing the hat? And I'm not. Holding my cursor still, that's a new one for me. There's a signet. Doesn't count, I guess. Violin bow. Flags. They have the most interesting things. Spades. Clovers. lemons and I'm missing all of them. Let's try for that. There's 1, 2. And we peter out on the third. No, we don't. Nailed it. Hat. Ah, there. Top hat. Stovetop hats are one of my most entertaining fancies. I think they're absolutely hilarious. Broken heart. I wonder about the crooked man and exactly what that meant. I should look it up. I looked up the nursery rhymes once upon a time just to kind of get a better sense of what it was that the primers taught socially, because you do often memorize them. I don't know that it led me to be any better to communicate with English people, but I feel like I understand the culture slightly better. And it's also a very straightforward means of communication that very few people understand, so that's handy, given that depending on how close you are with the church, you wind up with a whole different set of priorities when you're communicating. It's based on the fact that the church really likes to gossip, so it is what it is. Lived down south for a while. If you're from the north, the Midwest gets it a little bit because they do tall tales. So that's how they pass, you know, the everyday back and forth. That is not a hand brush. I am not seeing this. Broken heart. I probably should have started slightly sooner with the hens. I think that's one of my mistakes, is not using all of the tools at my disposal. Where I could definitely move it along at what I would consider a lively pace. Hand brush. Anything. No. Also no. Still no. What are you? No. Not a hand brush. Are we boot blacking? Why do we need all these hand brushes? I swear with the sleep in my voice. My doctor, I got a new doctor. They replaced the old one. He asked if I smoked and I told him no and he didn't believe me. I was just like, rabbit's jacket. Oh, okay, that's in here. He actually marked down on my chart that I did. I was just like, you aren't allowed to put down yes for an answer that I flat out told you no to. Doctors have a bad habit of doing that. It's adorable that he thinks that he can outguess me, but I don't know what to tell you. When you actually sing, and you exercise your voice, and then you haven't for a while, and you start again, you do get scratchy, so it's just a question of whether or not I've been singing. What you gonna do? Rabbit's jacket. So relying on this. Is that or is that not Rabbit's jacket? I mean, like, we're here. You're here with me. Is that what that is? Wow. Found a useful object. Rabbit's clothes. So all he really needs in this world is a jacket. Who am I to deny him that? Thanks, Alice. We need to open this cage. You needed your jacket prior to opening the cage? Interesting fact, the choice of animal names for the Pool of Tears was not a matter of chance. Duck refers to Lewis Carroll's colleague and friend, Robinson Duckworth. Flurry and Eagle are inspired by the first names of Alice Little's sister, Lorena and Edith. Interesting fact, the March hare was given this name in reference to a very popular belief in England. It is said that hares behave strangely during the reproductive period that starts in March. It's very English. So how do we open the cage? Now that we've fun facted out. I see a lot of clocks. Is there anything out here? This is where we can raise the barrier, but I need a crank handle to do it. Interesting fact, a brilliant mathematician and logician, Lewis Carroll's surrealistic works are scattered with logic references. Some people have studied them, but there are so many they have not all been fully deciphered. I'm not particularly shocked by that. Okay, so that takes me back here. That leads me onward. Lewis Carroll is behind many innovations that we still use today. Some of the most remarkable include soap-free shaving solution and pasting envelopes instead of using a wax seal. I did not know that. Okay, so I still need the crank handle here. That leads back out. Talk to the white rabbit. strange bird in the forest that will probably be able to help you open this cage. Oh, so I do actually have to leave. I'm always hesitant to move to the next board before clearing. This is not a dungeon crawl. Should be, but is not. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it here because we hit another seek and find. I think that there's only so many that you can enjoy in a video. This is awesome. We will come back to it. I love the fun facts. I love the references. So cool. So, I am Angindra. This is Let's Play Max. Thank you for coming along for the ride. We find everything that is amazing in gaming and on the internet. We're a known brand, so smash the subscribe button. Thank you for coming along for the ride again. And we'll see you in the next video as always. Much love.